What if I told you that one of the greatest performances of the 2026 FIFA World Cup didn't come from a superstar striker? It didn't come from Germany, it didn't come from Brazil, and it didn't even come from a team expected to make it out of the group stage. Instead, it came from a 37-year-old goalkeeper representing a tiny Caribbean island with a population of just 158,000 people. This is the incredible story of Eloy Room and Curaçao's greatest night in football history. On June 20th, 2026, Ecuador faced Curaçao in a crucial Group E clash at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The stakes couldn't have been higher. Ecuador had already lost their opening match and desperately needed a victory to keep their World Cup hopes alive. Curaçao, meanwhile, were playing only their second-ever World Cup match after suffering a brutal 7-1 defeat against Germany. Most fans expected Ecuador to win comfortably. After all, they had stars like Ener Valencia, Moises Caicedo, and one of the strongest squads in South America. But football has a funny way of ignoring expectations. From the opening whistle, Ecuador attacked relentlessly. In just the third minute, Ener Valencia broke through and looked certain to score. But Eloy Room made a brilliant save. At the time, nobody knew that would be only the beginning. As the minutes passed, Ecuador dominated possession and created chance after chance. Gonzalo Plata pushed forward. Kevin Rodriguez tested the defense. Caicedo controlled the midfield. The pressure kept building, and every single time Ecuador thought they had finally found the breakthrough, Room was there. Save after save, shot after shot, cross after cross. The Curaçao goalkeeper was putting on an absolute masterclass. Meanwhile, Curaçao weren't simply defending. They created dangerous counterattacks of their own. Tahith Chong threatened with his pace. The Bacuna brothers pushed forward whenever opportunities appeared. And midway through the second half, Curaçao nearly shocked the football world. A chaotic attacking sequence forced Ecuador goalkeeper Hernan Galíndez into a spectacular double save. Moments later, Moises Caicedo cleared another shot off the goal line. 3 chances, 1 attack, and somehow, no goal. The match remained scoreless. Back on the other end, Ecuador continued throwing everything forward. Valencia missed another golden opportunity. Rodriguez struck the crossbar. Plata came agonizingly close. But nothing could beat Eloy Room. As the clock ticked down, something remarkable was happening. The underdogs were holding on, and then finally, the referee blew the whistle. Ecuador 0, Curaçao 0, a draw that felt like a victory. The statistics were almost impossible to believe. Ecuador finished with 28 shots, 15 of them were on target, and Eloy Room saved every single one, 15 saves in 90 minutes. That's the highest number of saves recorded by a goalkeeper in a World Cup match since records began in 1966. Only one goalkeeper in history has made more saves in a single World Cup game. American legend Tim Howard recorded 16 against Belgium in 2014. But there is one important difference. Howard's match went into extra time. Room achieved 15 saves in regulation time alone. And unlike Howard, whose team eventually lost, Room kept a clean sheet and earned his country a historic point. What makes the story even more incredible is what happened just days earlier. Against Germany, Curaçao conceded 7 goals. 7. Many people thought they simply didn't belong at the World Cup. But Eloy Room and his teammates responded in the best possible way. They proved everybody wrong. And remember, Curaçao isn't a football giant. It's the smallest nation ever to qualify for a FIFA World Cup, a country with fewer people than many cities around the world. Yet here they were, standing toe-to-toe with a South American powerhouse and refusing to back down. For Ecuador, the result was devastating. Despite dominating possession and creating countless opportunities, they couldn't find a way through. Now their path to the knockout stage became dramatically more difficult, but for Curaçao, this was history. Their first ever World Cup point. A result that fans on the island will remember forever. This is exactly why people love the World Cup. It's not always about the biggest stars. It's not always about the biggest countries. Sometimes it's about belief. Sometimes it's about heart. And sometimes it's about one goalkeeper having the game of his life. Years from now, football fans will still talk about Eloy Room's performance in Kansas City, the night a goalkeeper from a tiny Caribbean island nearly broke a World Cup record, the night Curaçao earned its first ever World Cup point, and the night the smallest nation in tournament history reminded the world that in football, anything is possible.